in the meeting. May I also indicate that our agenda is as advertised for this particular meeting, and that agenda has been adopted by the members of the REC. We have about 3 items for the open session of the meeting, and the items will be read out as we proceed with each and every one of them. We will start by proceeding or dealing first with the item under the petroleum pipeline and the pipe gas regulation, and it's item 5. It's an application by Petro SA for a license to trade in gas in the Gauteng and the Mpumalanga provinces. Over to you, Mr. Nimalo.
Thank you, Chairperson. Maybe just to capture the essence of the application in question. It's an application by Petro SA really, for trading licenses, and specifically in Secunda, in Mpumalanga, as well as in Springs, in the Gauteng province. They've basically specified those 2 areas in relation to the trading licenses. But they've applied for this trading license basically to trade in those areas. And they are in a JV together with, CEF, the CEF group, and they've provided the relevant guarantees with regard to just the funding that then proves the technical abilities, that they've got within the group to basically meet the requirements of this license. And Chairperson, there was a debriefing session that was held on the 4th of March. There was no public hearing because there were no presenters, but the issues that members were raised are covered under paragraph number 6, 13 up until 612, from 612 to 613. Those issues basically we've dealt with quite extensively in terms of what the members raised during the debriefing session. Chairperson, the applicant has demonstrated the administrative, the technical, as well as the legal abilities, required for the application. And apart from the issues that members raised, which were not really much, and which are covered under those paragraphs, we'd like to recommend basically approval of the application by Petro SA for the trading license applications that they've applied. Chairperson, I think that's in essence.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Nimalo. Members, the submission is before you. Are there any questions, issues of clarity that you may have on this particular submission? If you do, please raise your hand. I will recognize you. I don't seem to see any hand, Mr. Nimalo, but from my side, I just wanted to just check whether do we have a precedent in terms of the applicant who is not in a good financial position and the holding company is issuing out a guarantee to prove that the applicant will be able to run the trading business, despite the fact that the actual applicant, in this case, Petro SA, is not in a good financial position. Have we a precedent that guides us on this? If so, please just indicate that to me. Otherwise, I do not have a challenge with the application, other than to get just that clarity. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think what has happened in the past is that in instances where the applicant itself has basically, for whatever reason, not been able to basically demonstrate the requisite qualities, they have been able to basically bolster that in terms of just ensuring that there are guarantees, in place as a backup to make sure that that aspect is covered. So, and that usually, takes the form of administrative, legal, as well as the financial abilities of the that are covered in the guarantees. And I think that's the part that the SEF group has tried to do in the guarantee that they've provided. So, Chairperson, that's exactly what has been done in the past, and that's the precedents basically with regard to previous applications and how they've been dealt with regard to just making sure that in instances where even the applicant might be falling short of certain requirements, that those guarantees basically would come in to basically, take care of that situation. So,
okay, thank you.
That's what they've done. Thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Numalo. On that note, I don't see any other hand from any member. May I then request members that we move on to the recommendations, which are on page 8, paragraph 14. But before I read them out for the record and having members to vote on them, I see 14.1.1. We may have missed the Mpumalanga province. Mr. Numalo, I think I did send this to Mr. Milatu. Maybe he did not see or was not able to access my comment on it. Should we add the Mpumalanga province as well under 14.1.1?
Yes, Chairperson, I think it's in 2 provinces. It's Gauteng and that's also in Mpumalanga.
Okay, all right. We'll have that added. I think it has been missed under 14.1.1. So members, the recommendations are for the REC to approve the application by Petro SA SOC Limited for a license to trade in gas in certain areas of the Gauteng province and as well as the Mpumalanga province, and to approve the attached decision and reasons for decision document attached as Annexure 1, and as well as the draft license condition that are attached as Annexure 2. By show of hand, members, can I get an indication that you support the recommendation as presented? Thank you, Ms. Masetti. Thank you, Mr. Mkize. Thank you, Mr. Gomete, and I also support. We then move on to the second item that is in our agenda for the open session, which is item 6, and it is the eThekwini Metropolitan Municipalities Regulatory Financial Report for the 2022-23 financial year. Mr. Shozi, or should it be Mr. Ntakeni, please guide and lead the presentation for members. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Mr. Ntakeni will be presenting this one.
Thanks, Mr. Shozi, and good morning to members and colleagues and members of the public. So this is the request for the REC to note the eThekwini financial regulatory financial report for the financial year ending June 2023. That is 2022-23 financial year. We have received this submission from the Metropolitan on the 1st of February 2024, and we have assessed the submission. All the relevant components of the RRM requirements were sufficiently populated for NESA to be able to conduct its analysis. We then conduct the analysis based on the accounting ratio analysis, as we always do, And the indications are that on profitability ratios, that is your return on assets, return on equity, gross profit, and the net profit, they are declining. And the reason for decline, the declining ratio, is because of the revenue growth, which is at a rate of 3.7%, compared to the expenses that are growing at a 7.1%. And the recommendation, of course, is that the municipality should be able to manage their expenses in line with the revenue growth. And on the liquidity ratios are also declining, but they are still within the norm of 1. And then with the leverage ratio, the indication that is that the municipality is not highly leveraged, which is shown by the low debt ratio, which indicates that municipality is not highly dependent on debt to finance its assets. And then lastly, Chairperson, on the efficiency ratio, the efficiency ratio are not sound as well, because it takes the municipality about 2 months to collect the outstanding debt from the customer, and also almost 2 months to pay the creditors. So that position is not a sustainable position. So we are recommending that the municipality should improve its debt collection and creditors collection period to be at least within a month, which will also be in line with the MFMA requirements. Chairperson, we are recommending that the REC note the submission and the evaluation conducted, and also communicate to the municipality the finding by the regulator. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Ntakeni. Members, the presentation is before you. Are there any questions or issues of clarity in relation to the submission? If there is, please, you feel free to raise them. And thank you, Mr. Mkize.
Thanks, Chairperson, and thanks to the presenter, Mr. Ntakeni. I really don't have questions per se on what is presented before us, but just a fundamental issue that I would just like to get understanding of. When we know that when reports are all over that this everything about this municipality is going south, and I think that collection ratio could be getting worse, and actually you've got the other utilities suffering. We've got water challenges, we've got electricity challenges, etc., etc. Now the question is, do we just mechanically work on this and say that we're looking at this time period, and we don't kind of also reflect on what we are seeing happening, so that when we give feedback, it's feedback in context, because we say they must improve, but chances are the 2023-24 is going to come out worse than this. Just would like to get that. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkize. There is no other hand. Mr. Ntakeni, do you want to come in, sir?
Yes, Chairperson. I can also be assisted by my colleagues. I do believe that it is not just a mechanical work. What we are doing is the expectations that we are raising to the municipality, that if we are saying expenses should be managed in line with what is the municipality able to generate in terms of revenue, that is what is expected from the municipality. And that can be monitored throughout the year to see if the municipality is really aligning with our findings. So we are expecting that there should be improvement in the next submission based on the work that we have done, or the alarm that we have raised to the municipality. Of course, implementation might be, it might take time, or there might be challenges in implementation, but expectations is that municipality should implement what we are recommending. But I can be assisted, Chairperson. I see Thabo Chabalala's hand is up.
Okay, thanks. You may come in, Mr. Chabalala.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think that again, you must remember also again during this time period, it's when they were going through floods and riots around that time. So it was a period of dismay, if you may, in terms. But I think we are expecting that going forward, it should be a bit better. But like we said, we are recommending that they should handle their expenses a bit better and all of that. But yeah, we are expecting that performance should actually improve, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chabalala. Mr. Mkize, your hand is still up. Are you covered with the team's response to say that in as much as things may not be looking good, there is an anticipation that things will get better in the next financial year, which is now. Any other question, Mr. Mkize?
Not really have another question. It's just a lingering hand that I had, but still, I get I appreciate the response, but for example, if we say we consulted at eThekwini Metro, I think that the engagement should not just be mechanical to say we're looking over this time period. In terms of reporting now from our side to say this is what needs to be. I think that consultation should also way of assist, because I think that the engagements must be throughout the year with the municipality as the client, if I can put it like that, for the specific officials within NERSA. And when we get a report, we should also be getting a feel whether things are improving or not improving. We don't become too mechanical about it. Yes, we're looking at a particular time period, but let us also not get a feel as to where are we going, how are things, are they improving or not? That is what I'd like to say from my side. But I'm happy to note the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkize. Ms. Masetti. Ms. Masetti, your hand is up. Maybe you may be talking to your muted mic. And I don't know if you want to come in.
Chairperson, I'm making two proposals on the issue. Chairperson, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. You may proceed, ma'am.
Thank you. I was saying that I have two proposals on this issue about the debt collection rate. We normally look into it, even when we look into the tariffs for the municipalities. We indicate there that they must submit a report within 6 months. So it can be picked up at that point that they must submit the report within 6 months. Or we can even indicate in the letter that we're sending to the municipality after the decision that they are required to submit a progress report within 6 months. That is what I'm proposing, Chairperson, that we take the matter forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Masetti, for that contribution. I think, colleagues, what members are saying is that we shouldn't really look at this matter as a once-off thing. There must be frequent monitoring and engagement with the municipality, and as well as to request the municipality to submit a progress report, which will cover a number of areas that we would have highlighted in the letter to the municipality. So on that note, members, can I request that we go to recommendations, which are on page 18, paragraph 15, and the recommendation are for the REC to note the submission of the RRFs of eThekwini Metro, and B, to note NERSA's evaluation of eThekwini Metro's RFRs, and C, that a letter will be sent to the municipality, to eThekwini Metro, advising them of the energy regulators analysis and the findings arising from the RFRs. And I think in addition to that, that they be requested to submit a report every 6 months in relation to the areas that have been identified by NESA. On that note, members, can I get an indication that you support the recommendations with the additional one of the requesting for a report every 6 months? By show of hand, members. Thank you, Ms. Masetti. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Mr. Kumete. I also support the noting of the item. We then move on to item number 7, and the item number 7 is Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipalities Regulatory Financial Reports submitted in terms of the RRMs for the period 2022 to 2023 financial year. Over to you again, Tatintakeni.
Chairperson, this one will be presented by Mr. Zwanga Ralufi.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Good. Thank you, Mr. Shoes, for that guidance. Over to you, Mr. Ralufi.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to members and everyone in the meeting. Briefly, this is to request the REC to note the Ekurhuleni RFRs for the financial year 22-23. And the municipality submitted this report on the 15th of February 2024. And the submission complies with the RRM requirements. And it provides sufficient information for NESA to perform the analysis. Getting into the performance of the licensee, Chairperson, all profitable ratios are improving. This is due to the improving net losses, and the liquidity ratios are also improving, and they are within the norm of 1. And the municipality is not that highly leveraged, as it's indicated by low debt ratio. And finally, Chairperson, and also noting the proposals by the members with the previous presenter on eThekwini, the efficiency ratios are improving despite the fact that the licensee takes 2 months to collect outstanding debts and also almost 3 months to pay the creditors. But this is showing an improvement from the previous periods. So by that, Chairperson, it is recommended that the REC notes the submission and the overall submission from the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipality. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ralufi. Members, the submission is before you. And are there any questions or issues of clarity or points of enhancements in relation to what has been presented to you? I see Ms. Masetti. You may come in, ma'am.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I assumed that the presenter was going to anticipate the same question that was asked in the previous submission. So on these matters, I think it will be important to indicate how the time period taken by the licensee affects the licensee's cash flow as well as the revenue of the licensee. So when they present these concerns with regards to the fact that they take like 3 months or so, it's also important that they indicate the impact on the cash flow of the licensee as well as the revenue, and indicate how, if improvement is done, how that could improve the revenue of the licensee. This becomes helpful as well as we deal with this, because that information will also be picked up in the D forms, and also when we're dealing with the tariffs for the licensee. So it's important at this point that that kind of indication is made. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Masetti. I see that the Sichotl's hand is up. You may come in, Mr. Sichotlo.
Chairperson, Ms. Masetti, I think you are right, ma'am. As we're talking about the eThekwini one, I was also thinking that for all these RFRs, we then really need to come up with a plan on how to deal with them. Can we just pack it for now, members, and then we'll bring a plan to you at a later date?
Okay, it's the plan relating to the
how do we want process. Them to improve?
Okay, all right. No, thanks. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Chair.
Members, any other input? I don't see any hand. May I then request that we go to recommendations, which are on page 17, paragraph 17, and the recommendation are for the REC to note the NESA evaluation of Ekurhuleni Metro's RFRs and to note that a letter will be sent to Ekurhuleni Metropolitan advising the municipality of the energy regulators analysis and findings arising from the RFRs. And I think we note that there will be a plan that will be coming from the team in relation to the reporting process. Members, by show of hand, can I get an indication that you support the noting of this submission? Thank you, Mr. Mkiza. Thank you, Ms. Masetti. Thank you, Mr. Komete. I also support. And we have come to the end of the items that were for the open session of our meeting. And I would like to thank members for their contribution and also our stakeholders and those interested parties that have attended our session.